Okay, let me see if this will actually free up some space. In the meantime, just in case anybody tried to send me any messages or send me any kind of anything, like just now whilst the power went out, that algorithm that they want to blame whatever on might have just cut out the whole entire electric grid, possibly too. Stuff like that happens, seemingly. Anyhow, plus sides to that floating generator: sustained electricity for the whole island year round, to the point where people would be able to use as much. Not that this is a really big place, but there'd be no need for any power outages, like really ever, unless it gets damaged. How would it get damaged? If you put it in the wrong spot where there's no storm shelter or something like that. Fish, crocs, whatever else out there. Bad boat drivers and stuff. Drunken tourists on jet skis, that kind of thing. To run into it or whatever, to tinker or tamper with it. At the very least, they'd probably have to put maybe one person per shift or something like that, where they could visibly see it, and maybe a diving boat or something like that. For the Bahamas, they could go any on little Boston whaler and throw one or two divers out there, or whoever they have out there, just to sit there with cameras. Or, that's the other thing, just put cameras on it or around it, under it or whatever, just to monitor and make sure it's alright. And the thing is, I don't think it requires any installation or something like that. And even if they have to bring in someone from somewhere else to sustain it, I doubt that they would after the training and everything comes with the manual, stuff like that. It's updated system. These things come with updated manuals for maintenance. And I'm probably sure by now they may be a little bit cheaper, to a lot cheaper to buy than it was whenever we first heard about them. So there's that. If they really want to get fancy, I see these solar panels popping up on people's places all over the place nowadays, generators and stuff like that. Those still run with fuel. So solar grids, you could actually do that privately depending on where your possible property is. Just as easy as it is for somebody to put their own private dock, fuel dock and stuff like that for boats and everything. They don't always have to come in the high industrial size. They got some smaller ones that'll generate power as well. I'm not exactly sure how much they will push, but I know they will push quite a bit to supply maybe a neighborhood or two if somebody decides they want to patch it in, especially on private parcel land. Just a thought. Anyway, that's all I think I gotta say for right now. But in these moments, some folks might be inspired to do other things. With no flashlight other than these phones I got, reading ain't necessarily a viable option all the time, especially if you don't know when it's coming back on. And save your little phone power and stuff like that in case it might be a sustained outage. And I only got my Bible here, really. Seems they kind of did away with the fitness magazines and stuff like that. I used to like to get other magazines, music magazines and stuff I used to like to get back in the day. So that's kind of the downside for around here. Went in what used to be one of the biggest magazine stores, bookstores and stuff like that. The airport always used to have a solid magazine section. People, want to read and stuff like that when they're going on the planes and stuff to kill time. Nothing in there. Little knickknacks and stuff like that people buy when they never been anywhere fancy. Take back souvenirs, that kind of thing. No books, no magazines, none. I guess people got online subscriptions to this, that, and the next thing, but it ain't exactly the same. Maybe they're trying to save the trees or something, I don't know. What do you do in this time when the current is off by yourself in an apartment and no data on the phone? I know I'm not going to buy data again. Seems like when somebody gets data nowadays, a little bit of data, these power outages and stuff like that, or computer Wi-Fi problems, sometimes just spontaneously just arise when you get a $10 data balance or $10 top-up phone balance to try and get you to buy data, and then somebody else got your phone number, so they splice your data with whoever they got you sharing phone numbers with. If y'all seeing this, y'all put some data on our phone, please. Because I'm not doing it. I used to like to jump in the car when I had a ride or access to a ride and just cruise around the neighborhood and see what the power glitch was supposedly gone, so whatever, that they had to go and fix it. It always seems like it's when something's going good or you're doing something cool, usually the power will go off. I wasn't doing nothing spectacular, but just watching some Snapchat videos and stuff, and it just shut out just now. So I'm gonna go ride around now, but maybe somebody else should ride around. It used to get annoying when they used to do that mess. But assuming it's neither of those, and it just needs a better system to generate power, there's lots of options. The plus side to doing those floating generators, at one point, if we had actually done it times like this, if they had run a grid to certain areas when it comes time to, for storm season, when things really crash out, stuff gets blown down and stuff really shut down. It really used to have power outages sometimes for sometimes 2 to 3 weeks around here. You can imagine what that's like. If you didn't have a generator, you was up the creek. And I mean up the creek. And we didn't have a generator. I remember them days. Luckily we had a pool. Fancy, huh? A pool. We was able to go and bail water out of the pool in buckets and stuff like that to go heat up on the gas stove to go bathe and stuff with. One of them cool island things. You got yourself one of those rain collectors systems. Times like this, you could have your fresh water and stuff like that to bathe. Set up your tank when it's raining, uncover it and let it fill up. Don't always have to wait on the government water because the power to push it used to be kind of dwindling when the power was out. With no current to push the pump, well, that was some shit, and we had it good. So I can imagine what it was like for other people. But then again, maybe they was used to that kind of thing somewhat. Being from the islands, ain't nothing really around here all that fancy. It's beautiful, but it didn't really get fancy until not too long ago in some areas. Updated and stuff. You go to some of these islands, I hear people still complaining they've been there 20, 30 years on property and don't have running water or electricity and all them kind of things. Legal residents complaining. But, well, I guess the $20 on my bank account ain't enough to listen to me, huh? But, thank goodness I am not a lemming. What did Richard Nixon say? I am not a lemming. Oh, he said, I'm not a crook. My bad. Stay with the flock, folks. What is it about this place so independent that seem to pull each other in every which way direction when it comes time to making simple decisions just like that to make the place better? Politics is not a sport. Y'all don't get sweaty. It is not hard to think about what regular common people be telling y'all regularly. You don't have to think about people's issues. They plainly telling you. And ain't none of these really hard fixes. I understand folks got their hands tied. I don't know who the hell it is who can plant the nukes or whatever it is that got everybody on mute, not wanting to do anything. Gotta be something drastic why people refuse to do just the basics of what they're supposed to do after being voted in by the people who've been complaining. But maybe somebody need to shed some light, shed some light on the issues that really people really go through once they actually get, I guess, into these positions where we think they have power. If the problem is y'all got the wrong people in power, maybe y'all should do right to encourage people to consider politics a viable option for people to get into, to maybe make them better decisions that some folks may not or be allowed to make, maybe. I don't know. Tug of war is fun when you got the rope, but back and forth with people's lives and stuff like that. I don't know. I just exercised last night, so that's not really on the menu to kill time. What to do? No, I actually am kind of tempted to put a little $5 top up on my phone to go back online and see what's going on. But maybe not. We'll see. Maybe I'll fall asleep soon. Go to sleep soon. Maybe it's a quick fix. Maybe be back on in a few. When it has gone out around here, it hasn't really been off very long. Maybe once it's been off for a few hours since I've been here, the year I've been here. It'd have been cool if they had the lights on the park still. But then those might actually be out now too. We could have gone out there and maybe caught a game of basketball or two. But these days it's not really all that cool outside at night. You know, things go bump in the dark and all that kind of stuff. That also used to be cool too when things used to go bump in the night. Anyway, let me cut this out right now to save a little bit of this battery power, just in case I might need it. Crunch out.